I'm a rambling Graham with synchronicities all over the web. And Darren is skeptical about everyone and don't believe it yet.
Okay, guys, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in for this Grimerica bonus episode. We're going to be chatting Anomalous Trauma a little bit later with Eve Lorgen. And a bit of Incubus and Succubus too, which is right up Graham's alley. So, but first, Graham, don't call me a Succubus Dunlop. How's it going, buddy?
I've been better, obviously.
Been better?
Yeah, calling names by...
You've been called worse by better people than me.
That's true. Yeah, no, I'm doing good, buddy. I'm glad to be able to... Thanks for squeezing out this extra episode here.
Yeah, on the Sunday, in the middle of the family day long weekend.
Yeah, we got a long weekend. Yeah, it's nice.
Really it is nice. Yeah. And it's warm out, too. I wouldn't know. I'm in the studio with carpeted walls and no window.
That's right.
We covered up our window with a fucking carpet.
Yeah, that's true.
We're going to have to cut some portals in the summer.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, well, I did one back there. I made the...
There's nothing to see out that window, though. Like, there's a real nice view right behind that carpet.
Yeah, I was a bit nervous for today's interview talking about anomalous trauma because I've known a bunch of people that have had anomalous trauma happen. So it's I was trying to get to the heart of how to help people. Tough.
You always are.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
So yeah, what do you want to? We want to thank all the listeners for giving us feedback too. We'll make this a short intro. Not a lot of lazy ramblings.
Not a lot of Graham's lazy ramblings. Yeah, thanks for subscribing to our spread the word theory. It seems like that's been paying off more and more. So as always, tell your friends about the show. What do you want to do first, buddy?
Oh, I got a bit of feedback from Imanon, who sent us some music. He says, "Hey fellas, I've been listening to your past shows by downloading them from YouTube." We've got a lot of people hitting us up from YouTube, eh?
Yes.
Yeah. That was a good decision.
Well, I think a lot of people switch over. Like, we find a lot of people on YouTube, and then I think, well, there's still a solid group of people that only list on YouTube.
It seems like internationally, YouTube's more of an international thing compared to podcasts.
Yeah, but YouTube's definitely someplace where people find the show, but the audio quality is better in the podcast form.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think it's there's a difference.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's just you're processing it again, and then you're adding fucking another thing it's trying to do other than just be audio. I don't know how YouTube then condenses everything for their site to keep everything. You got to think there's a billion people watching fucking YouTube all day long.
Yeah.
So they must be doing some sort of compression on everything to make sure it's not glitching everything out.
Yeah, yeah.
So I tell people on YouTube to direct them to the podcast, to either the website where you can listen online the same as YouTube, or to a podcast player.
And what about SoundCloud now that we're trying to experiment with that? You think the quality will be better there? Probably, eh?
I think, yeah, the audio file stays intact on SoundCloud, same size.
Huh.
That's why it costs a fortune to fucking host there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, we're going to try. Well, it's not a fortune. It's just a few bucks.
I guess, yeah.
A few bucks a month, but still, it adds up compared to free YouTube.
Yeah.
All right. So sorry about that little tangent there, but he says it's amazing not only how you get better guests than anything resembling mainstream media, but your interviews and questions are better. I listen to Coast to Coast AM, and that show has nothing on your show except for 25% bogus disinformation. The last two shows I listened to were Kevin Barrett and Dan Carlin. That said, I like Dan Carlin, Hardcore History, just like a good movie, but I don't trust anyone's opinion who can't get some balls and say straight up 9/11 is a complete lie. I've listened to Kevin, and now there is a man who has nothing to fear from death, standing up with hardcore truth. Sorry, Dan. That's a tough one, that 9/11. I also caught your request for original music. I've made 4 killer songs, 1 comedy, mostly hard rock, but never promoted them at all. So he's emailed us those shows, and Darren's already started to put...
I think I put one in last episode. If you just keep rambling there for a second, I can say what it was called.
Yeah, I can keep rambling for sure. Did I talk about Harold from Venice? Thinking that my mom lives down there. My mom was just traveling around. He's got a synchronicity about listening to our episode when I was talking about my mom being in Sarasota, and actually he was just south of Sarasota. But yeah, she's just traveling around there, buddy.
Lost
thanks
in
for
matter.
that. Lost in matter. Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear a trip report, Darren? It's quite long. It's a page long.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, fire it out. We still need a jingle for that.
Yeah.
I got nothing resembling a trip report jingle here.
Yeah, this is from Michael. He says, "Hail, gents. I've recently got into the show in a big way." Okay, that's good. Enjoying all the guests and the chilled out banter between the two of you. You guys are kind of like a delicious mix of my two other favorite podcasts, No Agenda and the Higher Side Chats. Looking forward to another 101 episodes. I wanted to write to you regarding a trip I had about 10 years ago using nitrous oxide, which is basically laughing gas. Anyone who has sucked some of this stuff will know that it seriously distorts your perception of reality for admittedly a brief moment. My experience seemed to drag on for an uncomfortable long time, taking place after I had warmed up with a few hits of the gas and was able to continue loading up more hits while under the effect of the previous dose. This made the effect of the gas much stronger. After getting increasingly high, I found myself fixated on the television that was playing an episode of The Simpsons. Time seemed to slow down immensely, and the scene began to sort of skip and repeat itself as I watched. Sludgy audio effects were induced to my hearing, and the characters then started to chant a message to me that wasn't completely clear, but had a general meaning of, the purpose/truth of reality is this. A phrase to this general effect was repeated continuously, but what this meant in the context of the chanting devolved over time to take on a severely malicious feeling. At this point, I felt like I had been in the nitrous oxide trip for far too long. Normally, they never seem to last long enough. And the characters chanting had somehow merged into one entity that was intent on burning intense feelings of loathing and malice into my very being. It was as if this being lived between the layers of meaning/art/sound of The Simpsons, along with the general television transmission and electronics. This being seemed to want to express the enslaving, captivating power it had directly to me. It was a very uncomfortable and confronting experience. I had to fight my way out of the trip, and when I finally returned to a halfway normal state, I was incredibly shook up. Immediately leaving the room and pacing frantically outside for a good 20 minutes. I felt like I came pretty damn close to going mad from that confrontation with whatever the thing was that the trip brought me into contact with. Be that brief psychosis, my subconscious telling me to stop watching TV, or an infinitely malicious entity that exists in some space between reality. Regardless, I've never watched The Simpsons in the same way since. Keep up the good work.
Hopefully it's the former, not the latter. I wonder if he's done nitrous again since then.
The former what?
Him telling him it's too much TV and not a demonic entity that's going to fucking jump him the next time he goes to the dentist.
Yeah.
Has he done nitrous again since then? Or is he going to go to the dentist? They're going to throw on some nitrous and he's going to get fucking succubused in the dental seat.
Succubus. You can make that a verb, eh?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I can make anything a verb.
I don't know. It reminds me of when we used to trip out as when we were like younger, and we used to go on trips, and you'd have to bring the guys back. You'd be going, come back, come back, come back. And then you'd go back and be, okay, I'm back, I'm back. Whether it be like a speech or some sort of, hallucination that you're involved in, we used to have to bring each other back.
There you go.
Yeah.
Team effort. I got some feedback in response to your acquired taste comments last show.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, Atka59 from YouTube says, just so you know, there are those of us here who felt right at home from the first listen of your show. For me, your relaxed, clever banter sent me into a feeling of new pajamas, warm slippers, and kicking back next to a warm fire. By the time the show concluded, I felt the cozy satisfaction of having just consumed a whole can of ham spam sandwich. Keep the good work going, and bon appetit.
Thanks.
That other can of spam is probably going to get eaten soon.
You know what I was thinking? We didn't talk about that on our 101st episode. It's something that we've changed over the last 100 episodes. It's that spam is actually good.
Yeah, that's true.
And it actually seems healthier than I thought too.
Spam should be.
I might actually have spam like regularly in my kitchen.
That's the closest thing we have to a sponsor is spam.
Yeah.
But they get it for free. They should send us a case. Maybe one day we'll just get a case of spam in the mail.
I got a couple little synchronicities if you want to jingle up.
Synchronicity, it's time for another installment.
That one's tough to come back from, man. It's so funny.
It'll floor you almost every time.
Hey, Graham, I've been listening to podcasts now for about 3 years. I discovered Grimerica by searching for Randall Carlson. And after that, every other episode went on hold, and I can now say that Grimerica is my favorite podcast by far. Now, that blows me away. That's me saying that. I can't believe that. I've listened to about 70.
Being someone's favorite is kind of weird.
Yeah,
and humbling.
it's super weird. It's like something I never would have tried to do.
Or people that have listened to like 70 shows in a row.
Yeah, it's weird.
I did that with MU.
Yeah, you did, yeah. Yeah, now I go through spurts on the podcast. I don't listen to any for that long. I go like 2 or 3 episodes in a row, and then I switch.
I never really missed No Agenda, though. That's the only one I'm always up to date on.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. It's hard to not to be once you start listening to No Agenda. Anyways, that is humbling feedback. Thanks a lot. And he says he's got 2 little synchronicities, okay? Ready?
Rapid fire.
My aunt got me a job working for one of her clients, and it turns out this guy's brother works with my stepdad on Marine Police about 300 kilometers north. My aunt is an equine vet, and my boss has horses, and he has an environmental engineering firm which hired me. This is the most random synchronicity because my aunt knew my boss and my stepdad knew his brother long before my aunt and stepdad ever met. To add to this, a colleague at work knew my cottage neighbor fairly well randomly through competitive volleyball. I don't know what.
I need to know the size of the town to rate that. Take the size of the town and divide it by 100,000, and there's your score.
Well, that's pretty.
What if it's a town of 6 million?
Yeah. So my second best anchor was on the way to shopping at Costco with my mom. We stopped at the dollar store next to Costco because she wanted to get something for one of her kindergarten students. She got a Superman notebook and showed it to me how explaining this kid just loves Superman. Then as we walk into Costco, every TV on display is playing Superman. What are the odds? Thanks, guys. Keep it up. That's Paul from Ontario.
5.7.
Yeah?
The kid was not even probably. I'm being nice because he's Canadian. But the Superman movie come out, the kids all, that's why the kid likes Superman, because the Superman movie's coming out.
And then Costco's got the latest movie playing, so.
Fuck Costco.
All right, buddy, that's about it. Oh, we got the UFO quote got to do still.
No, we're not doing it.
Yeah, we are.
No, UFO quote's canceled.
Really?
Profound UFO quote of the week.
You had me there because I thought maybe it was a bonus episode, so you were going to tell me that we don't do them on bonus episodes.
It's coming.
I wish to give you a summary of what is known in the world about flying discs, of what is known about the opinion of qualified experts who have dealt with this matter. The problem of flying discs is polarized the attention of the whole world, but it's serious and it deserves to be treated seriously. Almost all the governments of the great powers are interested in it, dealing with it in a serious and confidential manner due to its military interest. That is from the O Cruzeiro magazine, Rio de Janeiro, December 11th, 1954. That's Colonel Brigadier General João Edil Oliveira, Chief of the Air Force Staff Information Service, Brazil.
Nice. Those Brazilian names just roll off your tongue, eh?
I have no idea how to pronounce that. Like, I can't even guess. I'm better off pronouncing French names.
You're better off pronouncing just English names. Let's start with those.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
I think that's about it, eh, for this bonus intro. Keep it short and sweet. Both of us have dinner tonight. I'm taking my lovely wife out for day-late Valentine's Day dinner. A lot easier to get a reservation.
Yeah, I'll be celebrating Valentine's Day next weekend.
There you go.
Yeah.
A week later.
Yeah,
you give it flowers for fucking super cheap. Of course, support our value for value model. We keep the show on the website, both 100% ad and sponsor free. We don't have to talk about fucking Squarespace or anything else because we are 100% listener supported. Check out